Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Go for a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
Listen closely. That's not just paint rolling on a wall. It's artistry. A master painter carefully applying Benjamin Moore Regal Select eggshell with deftly executed strokes. The roller lightly cradled in his hands, applying just the right amount of paint. It's like hearing poetry in motion. Benjamin Moore, see the love.
Being a marketer's no sweat. You just have to manage dozens of channels, launch hundreds of campaigns, score thousands of leads, and okay, fine, it's a lot of sweat. Unless you have HubSpot's AI-powered marketing tools to help you do all that and more. Get started at HubSpot.com/marketers.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Don't Blame Me. Woo woo! If you are brand new here, this is an advice podcast where you guys call in with your questions and we give you the best advice that we can give. And the best advice that we can give is only the best advice that we can give because we are, not psychics, sadly. We're not witches, sadly, though I did Google how to become a witch. I would like to learn, so I would like to learn
spells. As well.
I think we should.
There's a podcast called Basic Witches, and we've had these gals on Directionally Challenged before, and I think they would be open to helping us.
Well, you guys, who knows? Maybe in a couple episodes, we'll have the intro being like, welcome, don't blame me. We are actually witches, certified witches and bitches. But speaking of bitches, we are giving advice from our own personal experience. We are, not the kind of friends that you go to when you just want them to agree with what you're saying. We definitely don't sugarcoat our advice. We give our advice like we give each other, like we give our other friends. We are the honest bitches that you come to when you really want the truth. You want us to shoot it to you straight. And we have a phone number to call in. So if you want to call in, the phone number is 310-694-0976. And international listeners, you can send us an audio message at meghanpodcast@gmail.com. And you need to leave your voicemail under 3 minutes. Otherwise, you will be cut off. And you will also be shamed by Melisa if you do not write it down. And we like you to write it down because then you know what you're going to say. You can practice how long it's going to be. You can include all the important details. And you're not, wasting our time. Mm-hmm. And also a personal pet peeve of Melissa's is when you start with, I've recorded this a bunch of times over and over again, so I'm going to try this again. Any sort of little quick disclaimer of wasting the time.
It's wasting because if you would have written it down to begin with, then you wouldn't have wasted your time either. I'm just looking out for the both of us. I'm a giver.
Oh, and I should do our introductions. I'm Megan Rinks if you're new here. Hello. And then my wonderful co-host, producer, that is Melisa D. Monts.
Hello. You know what I noticed is that when we first got into quarantine, you would say, welcome to Don't Blame Me in the quarantine. But at what point did that stop? When we realize that we're never getting out.
No, this is the new normal. I was talking to Sydney about this, and Sydney and Monts are both optimistic, and they're seeing the bright side. And me and Sydney's boyfriend are both no, this is just how it is now. This is just our forever sort of thing. And both of us are not allowed to voice that to the other. And so then when I'm on FaceTime with Sydney, her boyfriend and I we'll be like, oh my God, we have to talk about this because she won't let me. He's like, yeah, no, I've just accepted this is our new normal. This is why we bought a Peloton. They bought a Peloton, not me.
I was thinking about a Peloton because they've partnered with Beyonce.
Dude, I have those moments every once in a while where I'm like, do I need a Peloton? Right. And I've never been hit with that feeling more until I saw that headline. I go, I think I need a Peloton.
I mean, yeah, because when she was filming her homecoming special, she said, well, I mean, not specifically filming, but when she was prepping for it, she would do Soul Cycle all day. And I'm like, when did she make the switch from Soul Cycle to Peloton?
I mean, I'm going to guess it's also probably around the time that hefty donation was made. And that like $5 million party was like, hey, fundraiser, Donald Trump.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. That's what I felt. I just wanted it to be said out loud.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Well, I guess we should just do a quick update of where the world is at right now. Because the last time that we filmed, it was the 4th, which was the day after Election Day. And everything was looking really good. I was nervous. You were very confident. And something that we should all learn here is Melissa's very rarely wrong. But also, when it comes to math and shit like that, I just need to trust that you know. Because like in my head, I'm like, no, of course, like you were like, no, it's good. It's good. And now I get it because you are essentially Steve, not Krasinski, Steve. What's his name? Cole.
Whatever.
One of those. That's literally like what you were doing and why you were so confident. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I was watching TV. I was staying on the TV and calculating as we went. So, you know, I might have missed my calling. Maybe I have another career. We'll see.
Don't leave
we'll see
me.
what happens. We'll just, I mean, it would only be for a few days a week.
It's true.
A year. I mean, every 4 years, essentially. Maybe I start doing it for us. Like in 4 years, I'm the person and I do it and I get a touch screen. Well, essentially just a big iPad because who's going to afford one of those screens? And I just do it for the Don't Blame Me community.
And it will bring us so much peace and solace through these trying times. So I'm still wearing, you know, some merch. I
think you had that on when we recorded last week too.
Really? I thought I had my yellow one on.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was the yellow one because we matched.
Yeah. I wanted to, you know, pay homage to the president and vice president elect. And yeah, you know, story still developing of the lame sitting duck in the White House. But it is an absolutely wild time to watch kind of the Republicans and Trump supporters flounder. It is like I've never seen more hypocrisy.
I know the hypocrisy, and then some of them are just like guns blazing, like we're gonna do it, and I'm just like, no, you're not. This is a democracy.
Yeah, and I love people who are being like, like, watch out, like we're gonna have like another Al Gore situation on our hands. I go, yeah, Al Gore going to the electoral like, and then him not winning, like that's. And you know, in this situation, Trump is Al Gore, right? Like, so
also, there's millions of votes, not like 500 votes in Florida that we're worried about. Like, there's Joe and Kamala are so far ahead. There's also like the thing with that when people are like, the Democrats rigged the election. If we rigged it, why did we lose House seats?
If we rigged it, why is Mitch McConnell in office?
Why are we like waiting for this runoff so that we can have, you know, in Georgia to see if we can get not even the majority. It would be so we could tie and then Kamala would get the tiebreaker vote. Yep.
So before we get into all of our calls, we have a live update. So let's hear it.
So if you would just start by sharing what episode you were on in the past, like summarizing what your original thing was, and then giving us an update.
I called in about 2 years ago. I was on season 3, episode 12, the episode with Monts. And I was actually the title episode. So the title of the episode is Into Bad Boys, ? And yes, I am, and I was, and still continue to be. Basically, I called in and I had met this guy on Tinder and we had been talking for a couple months. And we finally got around to like having our first date. And it went really, really well. We found out a lot about each other, and we had a lot in common. He was a SoundCloud rapper.
Love it.
Yes. And I really like singing. So I was like into music technology at school, and so was he. So we had like a lot in common, and it seemed to be going really well.
Trying to be Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So like we had a lot
Jay-Z
in
is
common.
insulted. You compared him to SoundCloud.
Hey, I'm just talking about
title.
rapper and singer. Rapper and single.
You're right.
Yes.
You're right.
Well, little tidbit, little side thing. His music was really bad.
No way.
Of
I'm
course.
so surprised. I'm so
I had to listen to it. I was like,
Oh, okay.
you're doing really well. Anyway, yeah. So we were having like good conversations, and towards the end of the night, like I walked him out to his car or whatever, and he was like, I just want to let you know, like, I'm on probation. And I was like, okay, like, okay, that's fine. Like, may I ask what it was for? And it was for dealing weed, which I've been like down that road many, many a times. And so I was basically calling in to see like what I should do, because I've had a history with bad boys.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't know if I should like go for it, if I should like stay away, because like the last couple drug dealers that I was dating or whatnot ended up being crazy people. But that was pretty much it. I just wanted your guys' advice on like if I should go through with it or whatever. And yes, he did end up being on probation for being a drug dealer. And then I guess my update is like he ghosted me, so it didn't work out in the end anyways. I know you guys are like serial ghosters.
Mm-hmm.
We are.
But I'm a serial ghostie. So this happens to me often. And it also was not my last bad boy rodeo. I recently found myself in love with a sociopathic, narcissistic, pathological liar last year. Very much you vibes. Mm-hmm. I don't know what is wrong with my brain. I think I got mommy issues. I don't know if that says anything.
It does. It says a lot. It says a lot.
Yeah.
Is your mom a narcissist?
Yes.
Okay. So my therapist has taught me, and I think I've said it. I don't think I've said it on an episode. I said it. I don't know. I think I said it before. But my therapist told me that we only pick people to like be in our lives, like friendship, relationship capacity of people that we already know, like personality types that we already know. We just gravitate towards that. And when it comes to romantic relationships, we inevitably, if you grew up in like an emotionally abusive household, or you grew up with like a narcissistic or absent parent, you automatically have pick me syndrome. And so then you date people who are like what will prove you wrong in like the similar traits. But like, then if you pick me, then it will like fix all of my other issues. And like, then I will feel better.
I need to go to therapy. But I've kind of like analyzed that myself, and like last year when I cut that like crazy boy off, the narcissist one, I was really like trying to figure out like why I choose these people, and like why I let them treat me the way that they do. And ever since like I was younger, like I have been attracted to women and I've been attracted to men. And so like now I've come out as bisexual to everyone. And that's not that, like, I couldn't say that like when I called 2 years ago. Also listening to my voice, I just listened to it back, and I sound like such a little person. And Monts was like,
so cute.
Monts was like, you're 18. You don't know shit.
I apologize on his behalf.
Wrong.
He's not. That's the thing. His delivery isn't always the most like soft and sweet and coddling, but he's not necessarily wrong.
No, I definitely agree with him. I did not know shit. And I also like didn't know shit about myself either. I feel like it's more about me than like bad boys or like bad girls now in general. But yeah, I guess my update is I am gay now, and I am staying away from the bad ones.
Are you attracted to that, like those same similar kind of personality traits in women?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I'm more attracted to like masculine women, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think feminine women are gorgeous and I would love to be their friends, but like sexually, I'm like more attracted to like masculine women.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like that same kind of like bad girl sort of like behavior. Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, I totally get that.
I feel like I'll always be attracted to that. Like, even in like the Netflix series You, I was like, hee hee, Humphrey.
Literally everyone felt that way. But the thing that's great is once you get older, and something that I realized, because like, again, I relate to all of that, and like also like mommy issues and like pick me syndrome, and also dated like a whole string of drug dealers and very much attracted to the bad boy thing. But then it's like when you start to get older and you mature and everyone else around you starts to mature, you like realize you're like, oh, I'm attracted to like cockiness, but that can just be confidence. Like it doesn't have to be this negative sort of emotion, but when we're younger, everything's kind of heightened and more dramatic that like we don't have to like, I'm never going to like a simp dude. Like I'm never going to like a dude who's like so sweet, like good morning baby, like you're so beautiful. I'm like like I literally can't. But like there's this distinction that like when I was younger, I really thought like there were those like really fucking cringe dudes where I was like, literally get away from me, I hate you. And then there were the guys who were like, I don't really give a fuck about you, but like we can fuck. And I'm like, oh my God. But like, oh, there's like actually like a middle ground of people who like can have that confidence that I'm attracted to, but like also don't treat me like shit. I'm like, oh, okay. Cool.
Exactly. Yeah. And I've definitely come to that realization, and I know my worth. I know that I should not like, one of the drug dealers I dated, like dead ass did not talk to me for like 2 weeks and just like went on like a rampage and then like came back and I was like, it's fine. Missed you. Like, how are you?
Did we date the same person? Because I've literally had that where you ghost and you're like, and I've dated guys who have also like been addicted to drugs and like have previously done that. But I was like, did you relapse? Did you just sell? Are you in jail? Like, what fucking happened? Here I was.
And then you're
like,
still like, I don't care though. Just like, let me know.
Yeah, pick me. Literally pick me. Just like circle back whenever you're free.
Yeah. I also think it might be due to the fact that my mom is an alcoholic too. So I grew up around addiction. Like it's just a whole stir of things, which I'm like super duper happy that I'm aware of now. So like I don't follow in those patterns that I did because they always like ended up hurting me in the end. And I also think I was trying to repress like my bisexual side. Like I really like did not want that to come out. And so I don't know, a lot of self-discovery within these past 2 years, but I really am thankful that you guys gave me the advice that you did at the time. I mean, granted, he ghosted me before I listened to it, but you know, like it helped me down the road. So
thank you so much. This was I'm so happy to hear that this has like been a evolving and growing sort of thing for you. And I'm excited for you. And I always wish for after people have had like tumultuous like heterosexual relationships and are also like attracted to like women or people of other genders, I always get very excited because I'm like, I just hope you like have to get like a wonderful relationship with like a woman next, and it's like so nice and great, and it is nothing like the trash men that you've dated. And
thank you.
It'll just be better.
Too. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I love y'all so much.
Thanks.
And yes, I hope the best for my relationship life. I mean, I don't foresee me dating a straight man for quite some time. Like,
fuck yeah. I love that for you. I love that for you. There are so few and far between. So of the good ones.
Absolutely.
Loved the update so much. We love the personal growth. We love to see it. And let's get into our first call.
Hi, Melissa, Megan. So I love the podcast. This is just, I'll get right into this because there's kind of a lot to say about it. So my parents are split up since I was younger, and ever since I was younger, my dad would kind of come over on some weekends to stay with us, but he would just kind of ruin the whole like vibe. Like they would literally just like argue over the weekends, and then he'd kind of direct his anger onto us. And he's also a bit of an alcoholic, so he would just drink every single night. And then he didn't really do anything kind of fun with us because he'd mainly be like hungover, and then he'd just go and like chill out in our stable with the horses. It was kind of weird. But he didn't really kind of try and make an effort and keep up to date with us and see how we were doing in school and everything, he'd kind of just get that sort of information from my mum. And then as I kind of like grew up and started to realize for myself, I started realizing how like kind of scummy he was. And I kind of just stopped putting in effort from my part because there was kind of no point. And then I think the last straw for me was when I was moving out of my home when I was like 18 and I was moving to a city because I was like a student and all that stuff. And I couldn't, so I bought a phone, but I couldn't afford to get a phone plan. So I was like, I knew that he was kind of rich. So I was like, can you help me out with this? And he was like, no, I'm too poor. Like, I can't pay $20 a month for your SIM card. Like, I just can't afford it. And I was like, okay, fine, whatever. I'd try and like maybe skip food shopping for a week and get some in phone plan or whatever. And then literally like the next weekend, he bought a $30,000 yacht, even though he doesn't like go sailing or anything. It just sits at the harbour. And then after that, I kind of stopped replying to him, and he told everyone that he knew and everyone in our family that I'd blocked him and put in an effort and just like playing the victim when I didn't really do that. So he just didn't call or text or anything, but so he thought that I'd blocked him. And then after 2 years of moving out, I was like, I'm going to go traveling. So I left in December last year and I'm still out now. And my mum started to feel bad for him and thinking that I'm being a bit over dramatic. And she feels sorry for him now, but he just never messages me or anything. So, well, I suppose he can't because he blocked. But what do you guys think about the situation? Do you think I'm being over dramatic? Do you think I should try and make an end? And then, like, before I left or anything, he didn't make an effort at all. But anyway, love the podcast. Bye, guys.
I don't like him.
I don't like him at all. Like, who just goes out and buys a yacht without any consideration at all for their child? That they can buy a $30,000 yacht, but can't pay for their child's cell phone bill.
And also, sorry.
And they've been absent from your life the whole time. And he, like, even if he came to visit you, he still wouldn't be physically with you. He'd go hang out in the horse stables. It's so messed up.
The phone is a means of communication with him. Mm-hmm. Like, that would have been like, and in, first of all, if homie's got $30,000 to spend on a yacht, like $20 is not an investment. But like, for somebody who is then going to like turn around and like play the victim and say that he's putting all this effort in, like, when you came to him saying like you wanted like help with your phone plan, which would have been a means of communication with him. And so like him choosing not to help you with that, like, not only is it like a slap in the face and like, oh, fuck you, you don't really care about me because like you just flat out lied to me about like not being able to afford it. But it is also like, if we take it as like a bigger symbolic thing, it's like you are choosing this yacht, which is like just about you, versus communication with me. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what it is. Like, it's not just like, it's communication with you to like build a relationship. And then now that you have the phone and like you're paying for it, like, he wants to reap the benefits. He wants you to then like come to him and communicate with him. And like, this is just, I think you need to have a conversation with your mom and be like, I don't want to have a relationship with him. Like, he's constantly disappointed me. And I don't know if you have a good relationship with your mom. It sounds, I'm assuming, like, from this, you haven't mentioned it. So like, if you do have a good relationship with your mom, then telling her, hey, it really hurts me when then it feels like he's coming through you to talk to me about this kind of stuff. And like, I'm an adult, like, I don't want to have a relationship with him. And that's like the choice that I made for myself. And like, if he's not going to respect that, that's like why I've blocked him. And like, I don't want to talk to him. And so I don't want to hear about it from like you. Like, if you can feel bad for him, but like, you are a great parent, like, you're the parent that I need. And if I accept him into my life right now, that's not for me. Like, yeah, that's like just because you want me to.
When I needed him, he wasn't there for me.
Yeah. And this nuclear family, like Kodak family fucking shit and this idea and stuff, like, it is so backwards and messed up because a parent is not just who fucking, like, the sperm or like the egg that made you. There are requirements of being a parent versus just like, as opposed to just like paternity or maternity. Like, that's like, they're like, you have to have been there for me. Like, you have to be like fatherly, motherly. Like, there needs to be something there. And if it's not, then this is just like, we're getting into like the fucking genes and the science of it all. And there's no emotional ties there. And like, there is nothing that, like, there's no fucking reason and no fucking need to sacrifice like your happiness and what you want based on like societal norms of like, oh, like, still have your dad in your life, like blah, blah, blah. I get that like parents are not perfect people, but if they don't bring any good to your life, there's no fucking, like, there's no point. Then those are like narcissistic, shitty people that are just like expecting to be given things in return that they don't deserve. And just because someone like, and also fucking, I'm sorry, like the sperm of it all, just because someone like contributed like some like DNA for you does not mean they're owed literally anything.
Right.
At all.
Right. So you calling, was this based on you feeling like other people in your life are pressuring you to have a relationship with him, or is it you feeling like you need some type of closure with him? And so I would figure that out. And like, if you do still like need to say like your piece to him, then do that. But if not, then he didn't make the monumental effort to be in your life from the get. So why should you be the one that's making all the effort?
I fully agree. Next call.
Hi, Megan and Melissa. I love the podcast. Recently, my ex-boyfriend of like 6 years from when I was 15, we dated for about 2 months, has been messaging me a lot, and I think it's most likely because of lockdown. But essentially, like, when we broke up, it was done. Like, I went a little bit emo for a few weeks, but we weren't really friends or anything, and we didn't talk to each other for about 3 years. On my 18th birthday, he reached out to me, wished me a happy birthday, and we started talking, and I sort of, weirdly enough, helped him through his latest breakup at the time. And he's not the most mentally stable person. He's told me a few times about his experiences with depression and anxiety. So I was there for him as much as I could be, but obviously, like, I didn't really want to pursue any sort of friendship or anything like that with him because it's just not on my mind. And recently he's reached out again and weirdly enough told me about his new latest breakup, which was odd. And I've tried to be nice to him because I don't want him to feel like he's stupid for reaching out to someone. If you're in a dark place, obviously it's important to have a support system, but I just don't think that's my role in his life. I have been in a relationship for 2 years with another guy, and it's been making him uncomfortable, and he feels like my ex from the age of 15 has been overstepping his boundaries in the situation and shouldn't be asking me to go on like COVID safe walks with him and things like that. And I just don't really know how to shut it down. Tonight was the third time that he's reached out to me in like 2 weeks. And I don't know. I don't really know what to do. I've been pretty nice. But yeah, it's kind of uncomfortable.
So you guys dated for 2 months when you were 15. So essentially it really didn't count because, I mean, it's 2 months and you're 15. You weren't friends. You're still not friends. He's reaching out to you now. It's making you uncomfortable. It's making your boyfriend uncomfortable. You should not. I could understand if you guys were friends before, but you should not be responsible for someone else's comfortability if you're uncomfortable.
Yeah. And you guys are not close. And someone who's discussing their mental health with you, that as someone with mental health problems, that's just manipulative. Like, unless you're incredibly, incredibly close and it's someone that you can like count on. And also, again, like normalize getting people's consent before you emotionally unload on them. And he's doing this in like a manipulative way. And I'm probably just gonna throw some assumptions out there. I'm gonna assume he's probably like a serial dater and has gone on from relationship to relationship. I'm also probably gonna assume that like you're not the only girl that he's like talked to, that he is still reaching out to now, that like he gets a lot of his validation from romantic relationships that he's like had. And you didn't, like, you were very nice, like, and I get it. And I think there's a lot of times like when we can like end up in these situations and we're just like, fuck, I'm in too deep. I shouldn't have said this. I shouldn't have gotten to here. Like, now I can't get out. You can't. Like, it's very valid and okay that like the first time someone reaches out to you about this kind of thing, it like might feel a little bit weird, but like there definitely is a guilt thing that you're like, well, no, I don't want to read too much into it and like think that I'm being weird about it. And like, maybe they just want to like meet up and like, who knows? Like, I think that's a great trait to have, as someone who is like, I am not that person. Like, I'm so skeptical. Like, I'm so not like open in that sense. Like, if I got a message, like I would just be like, I'm not responding. This is fucking weird. But I think it's great people. And like Sydney's very much this kind of person. Like, if someone reached out who like we weren't really friends with in high school and like wanted to get coffee, like she would do it. I would be like, no, what? Weird. Like, I hate that. But that's just like the kind of person that she is. And I think it's a really admirable quality. But just because you've done it and you've talked to him and like hung out with him, like social distance wise, or like helped him through this, like whether it was once before, or even like if you did it this week, that doesn't mean that you consent to doing that forever. And it also can just be like having a conversation with him. And I would do it reaching out to him as opposed to like a response to him messaging you again, just to kind of get ahead of it. And I would say, hey, I just wanted to message you and say over the last couple of years, it's like, you know, it's been nice to like hear from you and like hear what you've been up to and stuff. And obviously, like I have a lot of empathy for you for like what you were going through with like your previous breakup and the breakup right now. And as much as like I have tried to kind of compartmentalize like my own feelings and like be able to be there for you, I don't have the capacity to do that. And I'm not someone who like, you need someone that you can like really count on and rely on. And that person's not me. And I definitely thought it could have been me, which was why I tried. But I now know like my limitations with all of this. And I wish you the absolute best. And that's it.
Yeah. And leave it at that. If he responds again and asks you other questions, don't respond back, because you've already given him your answer and you've told him you don't have the capacity. And if he still asks you more questions, that means that he does not respect your boundaries that you've set.
Yeah. And if you don't have to say anything about like, oh, my boyfriend's not comfortable with X, Y, and Z. Like, I think it's really important for you to stress that, like, here's the thing. You maybe in theory you could be comfortable, but like that's not your innate response. Like you're not getting anything out of this relationship. Like you're not personally enjoying this. Like you're not a therapist. You're not being paid for this. Like even if like you could sacrifice a lot and like be okay, like you could like come to terms with it, that's not comfortability. Right. And so like I wouldn't bring your boyfriend up into it. And then if he brings up like, oh, is your boyfriend uncomfortable with it? That's also not something that you need to respond to either. Like you don't need to defend if he comes at this and like tries to put blame on like somebody else, or like even if he does like, oh, I get it, like, and I could see this happening. If he's like, I get it, like I'm a lot, like that's what like everyone tells me, like my mental health is too much for other people, blah, 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 blah. If like it's something like that alarms you, like definitely respond and say something. Like, and whether it's like if you're like very concerned, like calling professionals and like alerting them of this. But if there's anything like additionally left that he's doing like that, and it's like, no, it's really not that. It's about me and my capacity. But I definitely would recommend, but if you are feeling this way about this, like I would definitely recommend therapy. It can be incredibly helpful. And then that's it. Like there is nothing. you don't owe him anything. And if he makes you feel like you do, or if you feel like you do because you opened this door and started these conversations, like that's not misleading at all. It's like, we have to figure those things out to then be like, okay, now I can make my decision. Like I didn't necessarily like know that this was how I was going to feel about it, or that I wouldn't have the capacity to deal with it. And like, now I know because I tried. And would you rather I not try at all, or like, and say no, or like try and then be like, this isn't going to happen?
Exactly.
Okay, guys, we're going to take a quick break and we will be right back.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/campaign to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
Okay, guys, we are back from our break and we're going to get into the rest of our calls.
Hey, Megan and Melissa. Love the podcast. I'm 25, Taurus, from the South, and I'm an African-American woman. So I really don't know why I'm calling, because the situation already happened and I don't really know what I'm looking for, but I guess validation or what you think I should do. I don't know. I'm an empath, so I like feel things even when I shouldn't. But so I was really close friends with this girl. She used to be my best friend. We met when we both worked retail at the time. We bonded really quickly because we were fangirls of the same things. It was a fast relationship and it was great, especially because I didn't have that many friends at the time. And she filled a void, I guess. So she's also a Republican and is a very staunch Trump supporter. That's like her personality trait is Trump. And again, I live in the South, so very common. People drive around with pickup trucks with huge Trump flags and Confederate flags on the bed of their trucks. And it's just par for the course here. I hate it here. So she's also the kind of personality that's like, whatever I post on Facebook, don't comment on it. If you're a Democrat, I'm going to delete your comment, whatever. So she's always been like that. I've never said anything, which is on me. It's my fault as an African-American person, especially being her quote unquote best friend. I should have said stuff right whenever she would say something ignorant, but I didn't. And that's an area of growth that I've had over the last few years. So when the most recent looting started happening, she took personal offense because she worked at a place that was looted here. Where we live, they have the same, it's a huge chain. And she would just kept calling these people thugs and animals. And I took offense to it. So long story short, we exchanged words on Facebook. Then we took it to, not Twitter, to text. And I said my piece. I said how I feel like she completely invalidates me and my feelings. And long story short, we just kind of agreed to disagree, what? And we just called it a night with the texting. So she texted her other friend who is also a Black woman and said that I was attacking her. And then she also goes on a rampage saying how Blacks, right, like coloreds, like what even, bring things upon ourselves, and that Jewish people have it worse and you don't see them complaining, or Irish people complaining. And we make ourselves look bad, and not all police officers are bad, and this, that, and the other. And she didn't say this to me, because if she did, I would have absolutely hurt her feelings. Because I'm a very loud person about my beliefs and stuff, especially now, because I haven't been growing up in a mainly white place, being one of the only ethnic people. I that's a whole other story. But I don't know, you guys, like, should I not have, so we're not friends anymore. Like, her family called me ignorant, which that joke writes its own self, but I don't know. Was I in the wrong? Should I not have done that? What should I have done better? I know you guys are similar to me, so I don't know what I want. I don't know.
Ho color. I too, Black person, growing up around mostly white people in the South, Republican. The difference is I wasn't in a time where Trump was in office, and I don't think like the Republican that was there before George W. Bush was just like inherently evil or racist or have this like gang mentality that is going on now. So it wasn't anything that while I was there, racism wasn't like something that was overt in most people, especially the people that I was friends with, of course. But now, like, the people that, I'll say half of the people that I went to high school with, I just block them because I don't want to see anything. I'm not on Facebook, so I don't get the brunt of the evilness, but the ones that were on Instagram saying things, then I just block them. And I know it's a little bit harder because you're still there. I'm in California now. It's way different. I don't have to worry about saying things that will bring attention upon myself, because when you're other, you try to fit in as much as possible for your own survival. And so I don't have to worry about that now, but I know that you do. So I understand you not saying things earlier on because you were trying not to stand out. But now that she has showed who she really is, like, I think you did what you should have done, and you stood up for yourself later on. You know what you stand for, and I think just going forward, this kind of goes back to what we were saying in the update, don't minimize yourself to be with other people. If you see, like, from an earlier stance that you already have beliefs that aren't going to align with someone, don't be friends with them. You guys were in a similar place. You were working together. You had this bond. But I would say, like, going forth, if it's something like that where you have a bond with somebody that you work with, it's just a work friend and you don't get involved in their personal life.
Yeah. I think there's something to be said too about, and I don't mean this in like a be jaded kind of way, but you don't have to give people the benefit of the doubt. Mm-hmm. Like, you really don't. And like, I think I can't imagine how like hard, like the whole thing that you said, and like of being othered and wanting to fit in and not really wanting to bring attention to yourself in that kind of way. So like you said, this is something that there's a lot of people in your life who align with her belief system and that stuff. And like, it's a coping mechanism and a protection mechanism for yourself to not engage. Like, you don't mm-hmm. have to fucking engage with people like this. And like, the second that someone says or does something that like offends you, you get to make the choice of, is it worth my energy to fight this right now? Or do I just want to block this and ignore this and then move on? Like, that is also self-care. There is a way of addressing people too. And like, I will honestly say, I think if you've only ever really gotten into with her once, it's because subconsciously you knew there was no point. And mm-hmm. I think that was a choice of self-care. And it wasn't like, when you're talking about like reflecting on your previous self being like, I can't believe I said this, I should have done this. That's self-preservation. That's what my therapist said. She's like, we can't look back on how we reacted to other things and be upset with ourselves because we did what we needed to in the moment. And like, now that you're looking back on it and thinking that you would have done it differently, like, that's just showing like growth and change mm-hmm. and like what you will no longer accept into your life. And this woman is awful. Like, she is a horrible, horrible person. And you being
brought her family into it and them calling you ignorant.
Which, like she said, the joke writes itself.
Yeah.
But it's not on you. None of that is on you. And you being friends with her, you did nothing wrong here. You did nothing wrong by being friends with this person. Like, there is no, I would take away any sort of anger you have with the version of yourself or yourself at the time who became friends with her and who became friends with her, because I think there can be some anger of pissed at yourself of being like, why did I do this? And why did I let this happen? And you didn't let anything happen. She chose what she was going to do. She said what she was going to say that has absolutely nothing to do with you. And all I think that this is shown is like, yeah, growth and like you being like, I deserve people in my life who are not fucking like this. And it's awful and horrible. And and her even going to your other friend about like,
what did the other girl say?
I'm assuming that's who told her.
Yeah, I know. But what did she say in response to what was being said?
Yeah, that's a good question. This is awful.
You did everything right.
Awful.
Don't think that you should have done anything different. This is an experience that you've been through. Learn from it. Look towards the future. And I get it. Like, I totally get it. I've been there.
If you want me to verbally harass her, just let me know.
You know, let white ally over here fight the white battles. And if you need someone to talk to, reach out to me.
I'm ready. I'm fucking ready. And that goes for anybody. If you're a white person reaching out asking me to like yell at your other white friend, no, but
because you should be doing
that's the practice that like that's our job. But anybody else, I am so fucking happy. I'm very, very, very fucking happy to do that.
Yeah,
it's my job.
White people, be responsible for your people.
Hi. So I'm a long-time listener. I'm a Cancer, by the way. So basically what happened is I met this guy on Bumble and I, invited him over and started seeing him. We slept together, but like I developed feelings. He told me he developed feelings, but, our relationship progressed, I, just introduced him to my roommates because they were around, he was around, I'm a polite person. He really started, liking and hanging out with one of my particular roommates. And I was just like, oh, whatever, they're friends. They just became friends. So I want to say last week, he convinced my roommate to break up with her current boyfriend and start dating him. So he basically texted me this long text being like, hey, I don't want to date you because you have like too many problems and a lot of things going on in your life, which is true, but still kind of fucked up to say. And then the next night she spends the night at his place and texts me this long text being like, hey, we're dating. Sorry it had to happen this way. And I was like, cool, like I'm not friends with people who hurt me like this. And she's just like, yeah, I'm sorry you feel that way. So literally, like, I just don't know what to do. She's my roommate. Like, literally, I'm not over this guy, but like, I'm trying to get over him. I couldn't care less. But literally, like, I'm so pissed off at this girl who's my roommate, who's supposed to be my friend, and I know, like, don't live with friends, but like, whatever. I can't financially leave this situation until May. So I'm kind of fucked and I don't know what to do.
So I know people...
It's your turn.
Oh, yeah. It is. I know we have some, I will like to call them pandemic apologists who hate that there are calls like this on the show quite regularly. And we will stop having calls on the show like this when these calls stop coming in. Here's the thing. Like, would I love to fucking give you some like real, like, would I love to like dive into this like in any other circumstance? Yes. But, and would I feel bad for you in any other fucking circumstance? Yes. But this is karma. This is fucking Miss Rona being like, ooh, you're going to ignore me? Well, watch what I can fucking do. This is so incredibly reckless. And here's the fucking thing. You're not fooling anyone. When anyone calls in and talks about and just glazes over and doesn't even address the fucking pandemic, like, you're not fooling anyone. We know. We're not going to not pick up on it. If you're not even going to fucking like make it up and fucking say like, oh, so this all happened before the pandemic and I'm still having feelings about it. If at least fucking lie. Like, at least fucking lie to us. Like, I would rather you fucking lie and cover your ass about this than call on here and then be like surprised when you get fucking called out. We are still in the middle of a fucking pandemic and you are not taking any fucking precautions at all. And then you have, again, the audacity to be upset at this guy. You know what? He's not a fucking good guy. Do you know why? Because you met him on fucking Bumble during a pandemic. And he fucking came over and exposed you and your roommates to all of the fucking shit that he's been around. I'm going to fucking bet you are not the first person he's seen. And I'm also going to bet you that he didn't get tested and then get quarantined. Then you got tested and you and your roommates all quarantined. Also, you could fuck some dude. It didn't happen, because if it did, you would have told us.
And like, this other girl's boyfriend is involved in this whole circle too. And the fact that no one cared that he came over means that no one in this house is taking the pandemic seriously.
Yep. And you're not upset about the fact that I had friends who like have like early on in the pandemic, like opened their bubble to like a dude and they like got tested before, but like didn't really quarantine. And then it like blew up in their faces. And the amount of regret that they were like, I'm fucking pissed that now I have to get another test and quarantine for 2 weeks afterwards for some dude it didn't work out with. Like, I'm pissed at myself for like making that kind of rash decision and wasting on this dude. But like, you're not upset about that. You're upset about what he's done, when in reality, this is the least bad thing that he has done.
Yep.
Because no one's dying.
Not yet, because...
No, from this action.
I know, but they could. The thing is, they're still being reckless.
That's
because
the
now
real
at this
fucking
point,
issue.
Now at this point, she's going over to his place. He's probably going to still be coming over here. You're going to be having to sit and look at his stupid face at some point. And this whole group is just being reckless. And you said she's one of your roommates. So I'm guessing there's more people in this apartment and everyone is being reckless.
And I'm assuming he probably has roommates, and his roommates, if he's fucking girls, I'm sure his roommates, if he is straight male room or whoever, I'm sure his roommates are also fucking people too, because there is no, unless there's like, this is just like, again, like it is karma. Like, this is what fucking happens. Like, this is what also pisses me off so much about this kind of shit is like, when you're not to promo my book, you're not fucking special. We're all in this pandemic. And like, I fucking feel for my friends who like, whether they like live alone or they're single or anything like that. I'm like, yeah, that really fucking like, that's so hard. Like, I'm so lucky, but like, you're not the only fucking person.
Right. I said at the beginning of this year, didn't I say this is going to be my whole year? And guess
not so
what?
much.
It's been dry as fuck. Because I have respect for my own health and other people's health, and I'm not going to be out here being reckless. Time for Don't Blame Them.
Okay, what do we have for it? Oh, should I explain what Don't Blame Them is for anyone who's new?
Newbies.
Don't Blame Them is where one of our listeners calls in with their own personal experience and advice on one of our former calls.
So the original call was in season 6, episode 20. And the gal that called in,
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all. I'm JJ.
Hey, guys. It's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests who share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like, it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
X ended up with someone that she was always suspicious of and had a baby with him.
Oh, yes.
So here's someone calling with similar experience.
Hello. So I'm calling in for a Don't Blame Them from your most recent episode of season 6, episode 20, where the girl is, she found out from some friends that her ex-boyfriend, who she had such feelings about, had a baby with a previous girlfriend. So just want to say, like, I've been in that situation, and I was exactly your age. I was 22, and I had been dating this guy. It was, like, my first serious boyfriend. You know, but he was constantly cheating on me, and, you know, so eventually we broke up, like, for good, and then a couple of years later, I got a picture sent to me from a good friend of mine, and she basically said the same thing that your friends did. Of, you know, hey, like, do you still follow him on Insta? And I was just like, no, like, why, what's up? And he had gotten engaged to the girl that he had cheated on me with. And, I mean, I was completely over him. I had no feelings left for him, but, like, as Megan said, it was, like, a weird mood. Like, my heart still hurts. And I think the reason was because, he and I had planned our life together. You know, that was, supposed to be the ring on my finger. You know, I was supposed to be in those photos. And then, 7 months later, after they were engaged, out came a baby. Surprise, surprise. And then, the pain, I don't even know what I call it pain. But, it was just a weird mood. And I was completely over him, had no more feelings, but I just still felt a little hurt by it. Just because, as I said earlier, it was supposed to be him and I. But I think what helped me get through it, and honestly, I haven't thought about this until I listened to your call, was that we dodged a bullet here, girl. Like, we dodged a fucking bullet. These guys are trash, right? We dodged a bullet. We stuck with our gut feelings. We broke up with them for a reason. And thank God. All right. Anyways, bye.
Dodged a bullet. She's right. Did you see the original caller had sent us a DM?
Mm-hmm.
And there is a little bit more new. Like, I get it. Not that I get it more. Like, it's totally a weird mood. But, like, I'm 99% sure, if I'm remembering correctly, like, the dude's, like, verified. He's not, like, crazy, like, famous. But, like his Instagram is, like, professional photos. Like, he's got, like, a blue check mark. Like, there are people who are following him, not just, like, friends. Mm-hmm. So, like, there is a little bit, like, of hype in the comments and that kind of thing. So it does, I could see how that stings differently.
Yeah.
Like, and that really, like, when I saw that, I was like, and I don't even know if we ever responded. Sometimes I just, like, open them and then I'm like, oh, wow. And then I, like, I do that with everybody. I forget to respond.
Yes, I mean, I do it in text messages with friends.
Literally my life. But yeah, I mean, it's a bullet fucking dodged, and that, it's all like, none of it works out until it does. It only has to work out one time. Right. And it's only going to work out at once. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not like, and even if you have, like, a second marriage, if someone, like, you get married and your marriage works out for the beginning and then it doesn't, and then after that, like, then something else will work out. Like, that's just, like, how life works. And you dodged a bullet. You dodged a fucking bullet. Well, guys, that is it for our episode. Hope you enjoyed. If you want to call in for an upcoming one, you can leave us a voicemail at 310-694-0976. And international listeners, you can send us an audio message at meghanpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to listen ad-free, we are on Stitcher Premium. If you would like to support us on Patreon, we would love it so much. We have all of the video versions of the podcast there, so you can see our facial expressions. And the video versions it's only $1 a month. So that literally goes to, like, 20 to 25 cents an episode. Mm-hmm. And it helps us keep this show going. And we also have a $5 tier, which is where we do, I mean, it helps our show even more, $4 more. And we also do live streams twice a month, which are really fun. And we just,
they're
like, get
so
to,
much fun. I'm enjoying them a lot.
It's like we just, like, Zoom and hang out and talk about shit. And we've talked about like, watching movies and doing like reviews and like, that kind of stuff, like recaps. Maybe once we start watching Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, we can have that, political talks, all of it. And it's a great time there. We would love if you joined us over there. You can also follow us on socials, Instagram, the podcast, buy my book. What else? If you're in Georgia, please make sure to vote in the runoff election.
Yes, very much so. Vote.
And if you're not in Georgia, you can still donate money and you can still do phone banking and text banking. And if you are in Georgia, you can also do other volunteer opportunities so we can make sure that we can actually get shit done in the next 4 years. So, woohoo!
Let's do it.
Let's fucking go. Ugh, Monts says that when he watches football. I just sounded like it.
Let's fucking go.
I was going to say, when you're about to have sex.
I would be like, and legs are crossed, closed for business. Put your dick away. You nasty. I'd be like, literally stop. Disgusting. Anything else?
I'm good.
Okay. We will see you guys next time. Bye. Don't Blame Me is a production by me, executive produced by Melisa D. Monts, edited by Katrina Henning, and music by Ryan Hunter and Giacomo Picasso.
With something like 5 million podcasts, finding a really good one can take a ton of time. So let me recommend one. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in each episode, we discuss topics that can be really helpful, like how to read people better, the psychology of crowds, or fun things like the story of Legos, or why you probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for horses. Something You Should Know is the name of it, wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, are you ready for some real talk and some fantastic laughs? Join me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melisa D. Monts, for Don't Blame Me, But Am I Wrong?
We're serving up 4 hilarious shows every week designed to entertain and engage and, possibly enrage you.
In Don't Blame Me, we dive deep into listeners' questions, offering advice that's funny, relatable, and real.
Whether you're dealing with relationship drama or you just need a friend's perspective, we've got you.
Then switch gears with But Am I Wrong, which is for listeners who didn't take our advice and want to know if they are the villains in the situation.
Plus, we share our hot takes on current events and present situations that we might even be wrong in our lives. Spoiler alert, we are actually quite literally never wrong.
But wait, there's more. Check out See You Next Tuesday, where we reveal the juicy results from our listener polls from But Am I Wrong?
And don't miss Fisting Friday, where we catch up, chat about pop culture, TV, and movies. It's the perfect way to kick off your weekend.
So if you're looking for a podcast that feels like a chat with your besties, listen to Don't Blame Me, But Am I Wrong on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a founder of the Go Kid Go network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. Look for The Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you love Disney? Do you love top 10 lists? Then you are going to love our hit podcast, Disney Countdown. I'm Megan, the Magical Millennial.
And I'm the Dapper Danielle.
On every episode of our fun and family-friendly show, we count down our top 10 lists of all things Disney. The parks, the movies, the music, the food, the lore. There is nothing we don't cover on our show.
We are famous for rabbit holes, Disney-themed games, and fun facts you didn't know you needed.
I had Danielle and Megan record some answers to seemingly meaningless questions. I asked Danielle, what insect song is typically higher pitched in hotter temperatures and lower pitched in cooler temperatures?
You got this.
No, I didn't.
Don't believe that. About a wish coming true? Well, I didn't either. Of course, I'm just a
cicada. I'm crying. I'm so sorry, Jiminy.
You win that one.
So if you're looking for a healthy dose of Disney magic, check out Disney Countdown wherever you get your podcasts.